I'm just mad at the fact that this happened.
All right. Welcome, everybody, as it is time for our campaign today. All the fun. Last time, our raiders successfully went through and onto their raid, bringing everybody back. They've took their ships from downriver and came through, being able to retreat upriver with the remaining folks and the loot they had gathered. Pushing ever onward, we jump into today. So, with that epicness, we will begin.
No, Mercedes, leave me alone.
So, your raiders beat through the forest after sailing down a river, coming to an ancient road that runs through the dark forest from Kirkbridge to Erfurt. Enormous roots burst through the road, and the wet smell of decay hangs in the air. Nevertheless, the longer you walk the road, the more the unsettling noises of the forest fade. Civilization grows stronger on the capital of Norkenland. And before long, you've made camp in a small valley a mile outside of the city walls. Erlefert's white walls are tall but crumbling and choked with vines. A salty sea breeze rolls through the forest, and the raiders grumble about missing home. It's time. There's much of going through the spoils. What would you all like to do?
Corgana, based off of how things went last time and getting someone sneaking up on us, wants to make sure that the scouts and those on the perimeter watch are actually attentive in their duties, as to and impress upon the seriousness, given that our goal for the season is in proximity.
All right. And in this camp, there is going to be time for some downtime and such things. It is just a tense camp, to say the least. And it is time for anyone to process to anything they wish. See, the chief has been singing various praises of, as he says, the the grand plans, how wise it was to take the bridge and the gate both to provide an easy escape when things got rough. And has been hailing the hairsayers of this.
Tiny.
Tiny is probably what's the word for trying to carve something out of a stick?
Carve?
Carve? Is that it? It was like
Whittle?
Whittling. That's the word I think I'm looking for.
There we go.
So it's just kind of whittling maybe an arrow out of a stick, is very violently, just kind of very focused on it.
What did that stick ever do to you?
Nothing.
Are you okay?
Well, to be honest, I mean, there was a lot of fighting, and I'm a little concerned about how everybody's doing.
And so you're taking your concern out on a stick instead of asking how people they're doing.
Well, I mean, I don't know if people want to talk to me about it. I mean, everybody seems to be kind of dealing in their own way, and I was thinking of a way I could, ask Asphalt about being dead, but I don't know how to ask that question without it sounding rude. And I was thinking about asking, like, Griff about, what he's thinking about now that, I mean, Asphalt almost died, and that's sort of, I guess, he's been like really protective, and or asking Bjorg how they're doing, because they yeah, and I'm just whittling a stick.
Tiny. Get everyone together for dinner, as they're more likely to accept said invitation for you than they are for me.
That's not true.
Oh.
They would accept it from you. But I can help. I'll help.
Thank you, Tiny. And we'll talk about all of these things. And I know you feel awkward about asking these questions. How about you get me a list of questions you would like to ask? And if I ask them incorrectly, people will just say that it's Korgana being Korgana and not you being insensitive. Would that make you feel better?
Well, I mean, we can try it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, anything's worth a shot. Okay, I'll go get everybody and tell them that we're eating. Wait, what are we eating? We didn't do so well on that hunt, Korgana.
Well, if there's nothing to find, we'll just throw you over a Spitfire, Tiny.
She's like staring at you, unsure if that's legitimate.
Korgana just starts laughing. We'll figure it out, Tiny. Not everything has to be planned to perfection.
Okay. All right, I'll get everybody together.
So yeah, she'll go around whittling her stick as she approaches Griff.
Griff.
Yes, Tiny?
Hey, so we're gonna be eating soon. You should come.
Of course.
What would you like to eat?
Well, I've been out here trying to catch fish. As you can see, because Griff is sitting by the water with a fishing pole trying to catch fish, but he hasn't caught anything. And when you came up to get him, he might have been just a little bit asleep.
Did I scare away the fish? I'm sorry, Griff.
No. Sometimes, instead of catching the fish catch you unawares.
Oh. Do fish catch people the way people catch fish?
Not in the same way. Sometimes it depends on how big the fish is.
But theoretically speaking, if there was a big enough fish, they would, like, try to bait us and gut us and
No, they either would swallow you whole, or if they had teeth, chomp on you.
Oh. So, maybe Griff, you should definitely invite Asphalt to dinner. I mean, if Asphalt still eats.
I'm pretty sure Asphalt still eats. Why wouldn't Asphalt eat?
I don't know. I'm okay. I've heard stories about people who come back from the dead and they don't eat the way they used to.
That's like the undead. That's when you're dead but alive. Asphalt is alive and alive.
Okay. I just haven't seen Asphalt eat a lot, and you know. But if you're confident, you should definitely invite them to dinner, and don't tell them that I mentioned about what they like to eat, because you know we're totally accepting of whatever Asphalt wants to eat now.
Okay.
All right. I'm glad we had this talk, Griff.
Me too.
I'll just keep whittling my stick.
Griff is gonna pack up his stuff and he's gonna go find out where Asphalt is.
Asphalt is probably sat really still, looking just sort of like into one of the campfires intensely, like she's somewhere else.
Hey, kid.
Oh. Hey, Griff.
Do you think you're up for a group dinner?
Yeah, of course. I mean, sorry, are people waiting on me? Sorry, I'll get up. She'll stand up. She'll start gathering her things really fast. Sorry.
Nobody's waiting on anybody.
Oh, okay.
It's just we're getting the group together. Although I haven't seen Hist around. Even though I guess he doesn't have to eat, right?
I don't think so, but you know, he really likes his private time, so
I know.
probably off, I don't know, doing his things. Oh, did you catch any fish? You got your stuff. I can see.
No, I didn't. But it happens sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we found that they had food stores at that last town, and so we have stuff to eat. So that's good.
Might be a good idea to figure out how long it will last us.
Yeah. Are you okay, Griff?
Honestly, I could be better.
How can I help you be better?
Today during, well, not today, but during the raid, when we were in the temple and you just opened up the door, and I kind of had a bit of a flashback of you opening up the door and getting shot full of arrows.
Oh. Yeah. I'm sorry to worry you.
It was... I feel like the word is alarming, but I think alarming also doesn't fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I be honest about something?
Of course.
Oh. I really appreciate, what you did. Helping me. But I can't shake the feeling, that... other people died too. And... well, I'm just not really sure. I just want, it to be worth it. That I was brought back.
One of the things that I first learned about resurrection magic is that it's not always as simple as bringing somebody back from the dead. That some of it, there has to be the will to return, which doesn't always happen. Sometimes people are happy that their suffering is over, that their lives are over. Sometimes people have unfinished business and they want to rush over too quickly. Sometimes, and in those cases, sometimes the soul can't keep up with the transference, and in general, sometimes the injuries that they've withstood last a little longer. It's a bit of a varying process. But the specific way it was explained to me is that inside everybody's soul there's a fire, a drive. And when I took a piece of mine and reached out towards what yours was, it answered back. It wanted to keep on burning. I can't say that any of the others who died during the raid would have wanted that as well. I don't know them as closely as I knew you or Jorg or Tiny.
Okay, guys, don't be in the way. Hey! You said you spare the first person you saw!
But I don't think it has anything to do with making it worth the sacrifice.
Oh, okay. While I was gone, things were different. It's not really like how it is here. sort of like, trying to explain what it's like to be a tree to like a circle drawn on a paper. It's just so different. How do you express that? But I did know, well, I felt one thing. And I think Mana was with me. And she's really funny. We didn't really talk with words, but I mean, you're explaining all this stuff about how spirits feel and what they want, and well, I guess it felt like she was, okay. And that she was really proud of you.
Griff kind of gets this sad sort of smile on his face.
Okay. Yeah, do you think we should go eat now, or?
Yeah. And, well, I suppose since you said Mana didn't speak with many words, she had a very funny joke about a fisherman. Suppose I could tell it to you.
Yeah. Okay, I like jokes.
Well then, and then he goes into this funny joke about a drunken ice fisherman, and as he's like cutting the hole in the ice, there's a giant there's a booming voice of "There are no fish under the ice," but he continues, even though there's still the giant shouting of "There are no fish under the ice." And then he looks up at the blinding lights, and is like, questioning whether or not it's the gods speaking to him, and it's like, no, you're cutting a hole in a frozen bucket.
Good one, Griff.
And it may or may not be based on a true story of a drunken fisherman and his wife.
Nice. So you go on out then?
Yeah, walk to dinner.
Tiny would make sure that Bjorg knows, so by the time she would get to Bjorg, her stick is a toothpick, and she would be purposely not making eye contact with Asphalt, as just kind of trying to look over there every now and then, but when it seems like they're coming, she would make her way over to Bjorg. I don't know what Bjorg's doing.
You can find Bjorg with the captives, making sure that they're all okay, seeing if they need anything, and trying to convince them to join us.
Yeah, Tiny would just kind of walk over and sit down next to Bjorg and listen in. And as soon as there's like a brief opening there, she would just kind of say,
Bjorg, Morgana has planned a mighty feast for everyone, and it is my duty to inform you of your invitation to kindly come to the festivities.
Oh, thank you, Tiny. Are we doing that now?
Yeah, I think we're all going to get together and be able to eat and, not answer probing, intrusive questions or anything. Just mostly eating and the merriment of those of us who continue to walk this mighty plane.
Okay. Before we leave, I say excuse me to all the people that I've been talking to, and tell them if you need anything, please ask. If you're afraid to ask, then ask for me, and I will come see what you need and get you what you want. So please keep in mind everything that I've said. Nobody wants to hurt you. You're free to do as you please. If you want to go back, you can do that. If you wish to stay with us, you can do that. And I will be back later to talk to you. Have a good evening.
Like later, folks.
Well, I'm trying not to.
You're good.
Okay. And then I leave with Tiny. I say, lead the way.
and she definitely will. And on the way, we'll just kind of try to find a way to ask the question as we approach nearer and nearer to the group.
Bjorg, you haven't noticed Asphalt eating anything in particular, have you?
What do you mean, anything in particular?
Just anything in particular.
Well, she's been eating with the rest of us. Are you worried
Okay.
about something?
Oh, no, I would never. I just was concerned that Asphalt was not getting protein given the fall they took.
Oh, I see. Well, she's maybe not eating as much as she did before, but she's processing a lot. So probably the best thing that we can do is make sure that she eats and support her. I don't mean hover, but just make sure that she's okay and ask her if she wants to talk, or just let her know that when she's ready to talk, that we're there to listen to her.
Oh, okay. All right. Yep, that sounds good.
Okay. And we head over to wherever Korgana has set up this dinner.
All right, Kurgana, describe the feast that you've set up.
It is a small circle around a small campfire with some rough logs.
Yes.
And at each spot there is just some tack and dried rations. This glorious feast. And some watered down alcohol well,
It's perfect, I'm sure.
Is this everyone you could find, Tiny?
I thought this was everybody I was supposed to bring. Was I supposed to bring more? Oh, well, Hist sometimes likes to be alone, but they'll probably show up and be silent in the corner.
enough. So, summer's partway through. Be seated and be welcome. Gesturing to you all to sit in random places.
So there's meat on the fire.
No, there's no meat. There is bread and dried tack and dried rations. Everything.
Okay.
Tiny made the rest up herself.
And watered down alcohol in various tins, and yes.
Oh joy. Yeah. So like she just like tears into like a loaf of bread.
Oh, it's
Like,
so hard. It is so hard.
Griff takes his watered down alcohol, breaks up the hardtack, breaks up the jerky, puts it into the watered down alcohol, and warms it by the fire.
Griff understands what's up about this.
My favorite, more hardtack.
Yeah. Do you like the texture, Asphalt?
Oh, you know what I'm really craving?
No, but I feel very confident that if you needed to share something you were craving, it would be perfectly natural and normal and would not need any judgment whatsoever.
I am really in the mood for brains.
Tiny is. She stops eating.
It was what my family and I used to eat on special occasions, you know? Especially like the brain inside of a bear. It was so good, and you know, I mean, they're kind of small-ish, so you really had to be conservative about how you ate it, because I mean, the bear meat goes a long way, but the brain can only feed a few people, and well, we would really save that for special occasions, and I just, I could really eat a brain right now.
A pair of what?
A bear.
A bear.
A polar bear.
A polar bear.
It's better and a more reasonable request than the orgies some of the other warriors I've raided with before, Tiny.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever eaten brain before, Tiny?
Asphalt, I think that's perfectly okay and natural if you would like a brain.
You have one?
I do. And if it's, I mean, I guess I only need a little bit of it.
Oh, I mean, we can split it. You can have like a whole half. Oh, if you even just give me a little piece, that would be so nice.
Oh, okay. Okay. What would you need to remove it?
Where's the bear, Tiny?
The what?
The bear!
I don't have a bear.
Then
well,
who are we eating?
Well,
Yeah, I kind of
don't-
only like bear brain, so. But that's really
Oh.
nice of you to offer, Tiny. Thanks.
So you not my brain.
What? Tiny, no! Ew!
Tiny, why would she eat human brains? Or half-orc brains?
That's a great question, Corgana.
What do I have to do with this question as to...
Do you eat half-orc brains?
Asphalt, I think Tiny is just concerned about your recent departure from living into not living, and then your return back to the land of the living, and not sure how to do it in a more direct and frankly, obvious root of their concern.
Oh.
So how the fuck are you doing, Asphalt?
Asphalt will walk up to Tiny and give Tiny a really big hug.
I'm sorry, Asphalt. I shouldn't have assumed.
Oh, it's okay. Thanks for worrying. I'm doing okay. It was really scary, but well, to be honest with you, not a lot of people, where I'm from, sort of felt like me. I was always kind of the young one and the runt, and I felt really strong lately. Being your friend. So it was nice actually coming back.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, it was real scary when you went down. I'm glad you're back. Are you happy that you're back?
Yeah. I think I've been wasting a little bit of time. I think I was getting distracted. And Asphalt looks at Cliffhanger, her big weapon. But I don't feel distracted anymore.
That's good. Because Corgana actually was talking to us about how we can improve our rating, and I definitely don't want what happened to happen again. So Corgana, I think overall, I think this raid went better. Maybe not 100% great, but I think we got things that we needed, and we didn't, have to sacrifice as much. I mean, we still sacrificed. People still died, but maybe not needlessly.
Asphalt, now that you're closer to Tiny, you can go ahead and eat his brain. Eat her brain. With just the smirk.
Tiny will throw up the bread.
A little levity is good. But there still seems to be some learning to be done, but this is everyone's first season rating, and frankly, we're not one of the more brutal clans. There's some figuring things out. Asphalt? Go ahead, Tiny.
No, I was just gonna ask how everybody was feeling now that we're kind of back at camp and it's just the group of us, and we don't have to put on a front for everybody else at the camp right now.
There's just a pit of dread in my stomach, Tiny. If I'm being honest.
But why?
this is going to be the biggest, or as I understand it, the biggest raid of the season. There's still many difficulties ahead. I have some concerns over our cohesion and the way we do things. And then there's what happens after summer. But we have to make it through this raid before I can really start worrying about that. But what we're doing, my biggest thing that I would speak to you, Asphalt, is you. As Kargana looks around the fire, a lot of these people around the fire look up to you. Some even put you in line to replace Raffin if he should fall. And yet, you keep leading with your face instead of your voice. If I die, there are other warriors to pick up my sword, my shield, and carry onward. Tiny dies, same with their bows and their hunting. They may not be as good, but still easier to find a hunter than it is to be a voice. And yet you keep leading with your face through doors that other people that are not friendly to us reside upon. And I can get it that you want to be there to protect your friends. But there was a toll that it took on Griff by you leading the way in one, and then continuing to do so. It's a lot harder to replace hope and inspiration than it is to replace a sword or a shield or a bow. And a couple people will be sad if I am gone from this world, maybe. If you were to fall, the morale of the camp would fall significantly. And I don't know if you think in that way yet.
Asphalt's eyes are shining with unshed tears. And she looks down and yeah. Anna, I think you're right. I've been distracted. And Asphalt will glance at Tiny Tusk. I'm gonna do better. I'm not gonna waste this chance that Griff gave me. I promise.
Asphalt, what do you mean you've been distracted?
There are things that my people, the Lightbringer, want and need, and I think maybe I've been scared, and it's prevented me from being smart.
Are we not your people, Asphalt? Or do your loyalties lie elsewhere that you aren't telling us?
No. Not my loyalties. I mean, I'm here and the clan has been good to me. eventually I think I need to go home. I don't really know.
So people look up to you as possibly being a replacement for Raffen, but you would abandon them to go home? Where's your conviction, Asphalt? This isn't I can have my foot in both sides of the water.
Well, I'm not the one who brought up the chief thing. That's never been my story. That's Hal's story. That's my brother. I'm here just to watch the rocks.
I felt. I think it's my fault. I was the one who mentioned it because of you. Do you remember when? Well, I guess I wasn't there, but you all met, and you were sent on a mission together. And I was still looking after Cole's place. And Cole came home that night. And he, sat down and he had a big smile on his face. And he was talking about his day and talking about how he really felt like this could be a home. And so, I just was asking him questions like, about what he had done that day. And he had been the one to mention you. He mentioned everybody, but when he spoke about you, he said that he thought one day you might. Well, he said that he believed you were going to be the chief one day, because according to him, he said you had the heart of a chief. You had the natural inclination to do what was right or wrong. And I don't think he ever would have wanted to put you in a situation where you felt trapped. And the only reason I even ever brought it up was because, we were talking about Cole, and I wanted you to know that Cole liked you, and so I mentioned what Cole had said. And because, Cole is as good as he was, he always knew that he was never meant to be anything more than what he was, which was, an axe, someone to help guard and to protect, just like he'd done for me. And so, yeah, I brought it up that day. I didn't know that people were going to put you in a situation where you felt trapped. And I wish I'd never even mentioned it, if that's what happened. But just know that I don't think Cole was ever saying that you had to do a certain thing. It was his way of complimenting you. It was his way of talking really well about the future. He saw the future in someone like you.
Okay.
I can tell you, Asphalt, that it's not just Tiny that sees things that way. But you're free to make your own choice. It's just that's what you want, is to not be around here as a permanent fixture. I'll make my decisions based off of that as well.
Asphalt, what makes you so sure that it's your brother's story? Why couldn't it be yours? We believe in you. You should start believing in you.
Look, I don't know. It's just always been the way things were. I mean, he was so strong and he always knew the right thing to say, and all the other warriors looked up to him, and well, he just had that leader quality, you know? And yeah, I mean, he got into trouble sometimes, and I mean, he didn't always think before he acted, and you know, sometimes he got a little rowdy at the bar, and I kind of had to make sure everything was okay, and you know, sometimes he's, I mean, all like, oh, I'm getting all jumbled. I guess the truth is, I never really got to consider what I wanted. I mean, I was put, you know, with my teacher, yeah, at a really young age, and oh gosh, this is a lot. I mean, I just came back from the dead like yesterday.
It's been a couple of weeks, Asphalt, but I can understand how it might be time-wise on your end a little bit of a blur. But you need to figure that out.
Yeah, I think I do.
And I don't think you have to like. I mean, I think you should follow whatever path you want to follow. I think that's perfectly normal and justified, because it shouldn't be up to Cole what you do. It shouldn't be up to me what you do. It shouldn't be up to anyone but you, because I mean, that's kind of one of the best things about not being a thrall anymore, is to not have everything in my life dictated to me. I can make my own choice, and I can choose my own clan, and I can find my own way.
Asphalt, the best thing that you can do for you is do what feels right to you. Don't worry about what anybody else says or what anybody else thinks or what anybody else thinks you should do. You do what is right for you, and you do what feels right for you, and that will lead you in the direction that you're supposed to go. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks you should do. Doesn't matter what your brother did or what your parents think you should do. What matters is what you think you should do and what feels right to you. And don't overthink it.
Right, okay. I'll remember that, but I'll also remember not to think too much about it.
Yeah, don't overthink things. You do what feels right. If we overthink things, then we're going to start doubting ourselves. And especially now, we do not need doubts about ourselves.
Griff, you've been quiet. Nothing from you on this?
I think, Asphalt, that every one of us is capable of great things. But we don't always have to do great things in order to be great in somebody else's eyes. You can be great just by being you. You don't have to do any brave feats, slay a dragon, come back from the dead, or wrestle a bear. If you want to try to come into your own as being a leader, I'm behind you every step of the way.
Okay. 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 Okay.
But please, do not charge headfirst into rooms that most likely have a lot of archers aimed with arrows at you. Again.
Yeah, I can do that. Speaking of, should we make a plan for the next raid site?
Well, I'd still like to hear from everybody, like, because how is everybody doing? Like, Griff, you haven't spoken a lot on that.
Well, I will say that none of what we've been doing has been bringing up painful memories, at least, which I suppose means we're on the right path. Haven't decided on making any ritual sacrifices to Gormadrog yet.
What?
What do you think comes after summer, Tiny?
As you notice the sky shimmering in the mountains in rainbow prismatic colors.
Yes, that.
Oh.
But no, Tiny, did I not bring that up? The whole thing about how I got here.
No.
Right. So before I became part of this clan, my wife and I had been taken. We believed it was to be as thralls, but it wasn't. It was to be sacrificed to Gormadrog. And needless to say, I was not sacrificed.
Did you have to fight your way out?
Yes, although I don't remember much of it.
So you were captured and they brought you to be sacrificed, and
they sacrificed all of us, or tried to.
Think massive trees, Tiny, that are dark and foreboding and just littered with centuries of bones.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the stories, or similar ones anyway. I just didn't realize, Griff, that you had gone through that. I'm sorry.
It's a painful part of my past. But the longer we move on from it, the less painful it's become. And while a lot of what happened makes me angry, I understand that I ultimately can't change any of it. It's already happened.
I get that part. Like I actually really get that part. I mean, I've grown up pretty much in a place of not really having a lot of knowledge of everything regarding where I come from. And while I can't change it, I'm always kind of hopeful that maybe one day it'll all make sense. Or that I'll have a memory of something that I've forgotten about. I mean, before I joined all of you, it was a weird existence, to be honest. I've learned a lot just from the way we all talk to each other. I mean, it's kind of cool because I think of all of you as my family. I didn't have an understanding of what that really meant for a long time. Or even what it means to be an orc, to be honest with you. Like, that's still fascinating to me.
Don't forget, when we return, you can always talk to Brenna.
Oh, is that,
I think that was her name, the farmer lady.
yeah, I think I'm supposed to marry one of her kids.
I think she wants you to marry one of her kids. Do you want to marry one of her kids?
I mean, maybe. I haven't really met her kids, so...
You all have, fun. I need to go check on some things.
Oh,
Corgana
okay,
will
Corgana.
excuse themselves.
I'm worried about Corgana.
Did I say something to offend him?
No. I think, well, earlier when I was talking to Corgana, they didn't seem like... Well, they kind of mentioned to me that... I don't even know if I should share this, but I sometimes feel like... Well, I have like this parental relationship with Corgana, so I feel like he trusts me. And I worry that he's not making friends. And if I should like help him in that way.
Probably couldn't hurt.
He didn't seem like he thought many people would come if he invited people.
I think he gives himself too little credit.
I thought the same thing. I was trying to help him understand that, but I think because of my unique relationship with him, he isn't able to hear it from me, you know. But maybe one of you can talk to him about it, and
Maybe we all just need to find a little bit more time to bond, like we were just doing now. I don't
or
think
maybe.
I don't think we've spent a lot of time doing that with each other.
Well, I mean, Corgan and I have a lot in common because, like, you know, we both have our backgrounds and we both come from thrall backgrounds, but I think his experience was so different from mine that when I talk about it, it kind of upsets him, and I think I might have upset him just now.
Oh, well, I can't imagine that being a thrall was pleasant.
No, it wasn't. But I kind of don't talk about the less pleasant parts, and I think that's the parts that's the only parts Corgana can, which I totally get. But it's hard for me to talk to them about it because, yeah, I guess because I'm willing to, it was just such a different experience for both of us.
Well, let's see if we can make things better for him.
Yeah. And what I'll do later today too is I'll write down some of my bad experiences, and maybe I'll just give him that in a letter so that he knows that, you know, if he ever wants to talk about those things, that I always feel like I'm being overbearing. So I'm just gonna sit on that.
Tiny, I promise if we feel you're being overbearing, we will tell you. We will politely tell you. But it's okay for you to be concerned about us. It's not okay for you to take care of us. It's okay for you to be concerned about us and want to make sure that we're doing okay. But you are not here to serve us. So just be our friend like you have been. And when we need to talk, if we need to talk, we will tell you if something's bothering us. That's all you need to do.
Okay.
So, on that note, should we maybe try to do some hunting?
Well, our last venture into hunting didn't go so well.
Yeah, well, we can't let that stop us. And it might be good for us to learn a bit about the lay of the land.
That's a good point.
Because we should probably at least know a little bit about it for our next mission. What say you, Asphalt, Griff?
I definitely think knowing more about where we are wouldn't hurt. Especially considering we got a surprise in the middle of the night last time.
I also think that's a really good idea. But above table, mechanically, can we combine those two things? Or would scouting/hunting have to be different?
Well, Hruff has a lot of information for you about the town when you kind of get into it, but
Okay, cool. So I think we should hunt.
But yeah, so in other words, I think narratively what I'm going to do is allow you to learn information like through this, but you don't have to do like a separate scouting mission for you. Here. So it is hunting that you wish to do.
Big game. Big game.
There we go. Okay, so to get down to my downtime, which just look at so many different things as you guys were talking, like, oh, we were going to go this direction. Nope, we're going off of that. So very cool. All right, who'd like to start to find the tracks?
Well, I can help, or I can do it. Ranger.
Go for it.
So Tiny will begin looking for tracks of
Yep, survival check.
a large or small beast in the area. And Tiny rolls an 18.
All right, seem to find the tracks of a group of elk. It's going to be clear for all of you to get closer with the hunting party. So, who would like to give me my stealth check?
I can do that. 15.
15. All right. So what was yours again, Tiny?
Oh, my survival was, I think, an 18. Let me check.
Yeah, 18.
Okay, it's 15. All right. You find the elk in a nice, cozy little clearing. And with that, it is time to take them down. So the three of you who have not made the checks, go ahead and give me a ranged attack.
Weapon or spell?
Either.
Okay, I'm gonna do a spell attack because it's more.
Fireball the elk.
Oh, it's a nat one.
Oh.
Distracted are we tonight, Griff? Distracted?
Yeah,
thoughts?
yeah.
All right. What's the total?
8.
8. Well, when you're averaging numbers, 8's better than 1.
True, very true.
17.
Okay, wait. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart on how to roll. Oh wait, I think I could just. Okay, yeah. We'll just click. Okay, 22.
22. Ooh, big hitter. So, with that brings that up a little bit. So 8, 17, 22 divided by 3. So we'll give you that one. Okay, so that brings you to able to feed 49 here. Which, for this, it's a good feast. Morale is up, and you're going to get a +1 to your rating rolls.
Nice.
Actually, for the next 4 weeks.
Oh.
Nice.
So that was week 1, which just means you don't really want to spend more than 3 more weeks. Or 2, really. 2 good things.
Corgana would like to pull Griff aside.
Okay.
You okay? You seem to have been off lately.
Sorry, I'm chewing.
Take your time. That hardtack is great.
Great. I'm wondering about the fight ahead. The last village was more defended, and they had seasoned fighters from the Empire. The deeper we go, the more we'll see them.
This is true. Bringing back bad memories.
The people that took us weren't like those of the Barak Empire. You hear stories about them, how they zealously hunt down people with magic.
They do more than just stories, Griff. But sure. How do you deal with it, Griff? You're not the only one that's seen those trees.
Well, I think what helps is that when I woke up from the possession that saved my life, most of them were on fire. That does seem to help.
Seeing fire?
Seeing them no longer matter. Whatever they were used for before didn't matter because they were incinerated. But I also worry that as we make a name for ourselves as a clan, what if they decide to come for our clan?
The others don't get it like you and I do, Griff. They hear stories, the tales, or that it's just some fanciful thing that happens to other people. If they come, it could be very problematic, as no idea what their asks are be. But I would ask that you help me salt the earth with their bones and their flesh and their blood. You guys all talked about family and getting to choose your own. It's not as simple as that.
It's easy to not lose something when you don't have anything to lose.
Oh. I admit that there are times where we go into battle and I don't care if I live or die. But I can't help but wonder if that I still have one last thing left to lose. And it's worth fighting for. That some hope that I have a daughter out there. And somehow, magically, our paths will bring things together to find them. And that I'll still be a person that they recognize. Or that they even want a part of, or that they just hate me for not finding them sooner. For this world is cruel. Beyond that, I just want to see those druids burn, hung from their own trees, suffering as they've caused both you and I. That's what I want, Griff. That's what I need.
Then we'll make it happen. We won't let any of them harm what's ours.
Promise.
Or I'll
Promise
die
me.
trying.
I can work with that.
As you make this pact, you can see above in the mountains where the lights, all the colors shine. Dark clouds seem to form. Lightning that you can hear. What sounds like the calls of drakes.
And if Griff would just let Corgana up, Corgana would sit the eve with Griff and just relative quiet.
You sit, and light strikes. Almost looks like the outline of a temple can be seen upon the mountain. Light goes. Anything else for the night? Or for any other scene? We're kind of being loosey-goosey with some time stuff, I think.
I think the next morning, Bjorg will go find Corgana, since he is our inspirator, and talk to him about inspiring our captives to join us. Letting him know that I've been slowly making my way around with them, through them, talking to them, helping them, but ultimately he's the one that needs to end them to want to go with us.
A little red-eyed and tired. I think what was said over dinner is the simplest way to put it before them all. We don't have. Bringing them this far would be. Causes other problems, but.
Yes, but if we could get more warriors.
Sure. We could also have more spies or more people that have no choice but to go to the village. The place that we're sitting outside of at this point, Matt, is closer than their homes are, correct? Or like, are we midway between the two? Or like,
Sorry, say that again. I just missed it.
Okay, because I had no idea that we were bringing captives to travel with us to later then make decisions with.
It's I'm keeping it loosey just so that we don't need to be too.
Yeah, we didn't do it this time right after the raid.
This is basically because this is like this is one of those things where we can go back and go 7 days earlier, or whatever with some of these conversations. That's how I found it best, rather than trying to be very like.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to be able to frame this. I just wanted to be able to frame Corgana's mind state in this regard.
So if you release them, they can safely make it back to their village.
Okay.
I think that's probably an important thing.
That's what. Yes, I okay. Sure, let's go talk to them, Bjork. Let's go talk to people about home and life and possibly having lost whatever they've lost, an opportunity to reforge and be who they want to be.
Okay, and since Corgana doesn't know this, but since we're trying to make him feel more at home and like family, I'm going to do the thing where I link arms with him and walk along with him.
So
please don't touch me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I just don't want to be touched. There's a difference between offending me and touching me. We're not sleeping together, Bjorg.
No, but I thought you were my friend, and friends touch each other. But I won't touch you. I won't touch you unless you say it's okay.
This is weird and uncomfortable, and I feel like I've ruined whatever you were trying to do. So I'm sorry for fucking things up, Bjorg, as usual.
No, it's fine. We need to know what your boundaries are. We all have boundaries, and this is your boundary.
We kill people together, Bjorg.
We hang out together too. It's okay. We all have boundaries. Like I said, I am not mad. I'm not upset. I'm trying to understand you more.
Are you trying to get to sleep with me?
No. I'm trying to be your friend, and friends get to know each other.
It's a really awkward time to do that during raiding season, because one of us could be dead the next time we go out there.
And bite your tongue, because we have each other's backs. We're not going to let that happen.
Sure, but it's like you don't go get a pet and then walk it into a hail of arrows and name it before you do. That's getting attachments.
Aren't we all attached to each other?
Obviously not.
Well, I'm attached to Tiny and Griff and Asphalt.
Notice you left my name off of there.
Well, you said you don't want any attachments. I don't want to offend you. I would be very upset if something happened to you.
Why? Why would you be upset?
Because you're my friend.
What have I done to do that?
You look out for us.
That's my job.
It's our jobs to look out for each other.
Okay.
So I would look out for you. Just like I do with Asphalt and Griff and Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
you-
I'd be very upset if something happened to you.
You lead a very complicated life for one as harsh as ours. How do you do it?
How is it complicated?
Well, I am assigned roles and responsibilities to look out for everyone as part of being a god of our wonderful little hamlet. I do not have enough time to go ahead and classify and state that I can name every single one of those people's names. There are some mornings I don't even remember Asphalt. But that might be more the alcohol than anything. But
Well, I can't say that I know everybody's name, but that doesn't mean I won't stop and talk to them or help them if they need it.
yes, but that doesn't make them your friend either.
Why not?
I think that we have operationally different definitions of
What-
what a friend is.
What is a friend to you?
I think I've only ever had one. And they and I, based off of our existing conversation this afternoon, did things that neither of us is looking forward to. Like, there's a pained look on Corgana's face in trying to sort this out.
I'm sorry if I put a lot of stress on you. I didn't mean to cause you stress. How is it hard to have more than one friend?
I didn't say that it's hard to have more than one. I said that I think I've ever had one.
And now you have more. Griff and Tiny and Asphalt and Hist are all your friends as well.
I don't think Hist. I think Hist does friends the way I do friends, which is few and far between.
Well, Hist is trying.
I feel like Hist in this situation would say, that's debatable.
Needed represented.
There you go.
But
It's okay. We'll leave it at this for now.
I appreciated your attempt, Bjorg. The next thing you're going to tell me is that Tiny thinks that they're like have a parental relationship with me, and that Asphalt wants to go on a date. And I know these things are just crazy and ludicrous, and frankly,
I think the thing about Tiny may be true. Can't say so much about Asphalt and wanting to date.
I don't want to date. I've got too much emotional baggage.
And that's fine. You don't have to. But I do think you should be aware that Tiny potentially does feel that you may be some sort of parental figure.
I'm older than Tiny.
Yeah? You have a lot of knowledge, and Tiny relates to you differently than she relates to us because you understand her and probably Griff more than the rest of us do.
I need to talk to people and I need some alcohol.
Okay, we can do that. Follow me.
Amazing.
Okay, deep breaths in, deep breaths out.
As we, I think, go to what you are trying to do in the first place, which is to talk to prisoners.
Yes, but
we're gonna
that's
go ahead
okay,
and
this
take
was
a.
funny.
We're gonna take a break, and then we'll come on
I
back.
think we did talk to prisoners by talking to Krigana in that situation. Oh my god. Okay. Oh.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's all right. So here, I like this little this discussion between the two of you is right in front of the captives, and that is what determines if they stay. So go ahead and give me a persuasion check there, Kurgana.
17.
Okay. All right. With that, out of the captives, we were able to convince 40 to join up with you. Now, you did know that people were homesick. That's one of the things, but you also have a few more weeks of downtime you can take to try to do some other things as well. And there
Three
can be
more, you say?
crafting if you so desire.
What are our wonderful crafting options?
That's also 5 people that didn't join us.
Yeah.
It was all
If-
Bjorg. And you can be what you want to, and we're going to respect boundaries.
Yeah. We expect boundaries. We're like, oh, okay. Sounds like a good place.
After I've been raided 4,000 times for the season already, this sounds like the better option. That even the grumpy person has a place that they can find friends and be family.
If nobody has any objections, I would like to take one of the +1 longbows.
I figured you had already thrown that into your inventory.
I didn't want to just take
Yeah,
it.
that's true. Make sure you guys get the right. You did get various magic items and loot and such things.
But no, be my guest, Bjorg. You need a magic weapon of some sort.
I really do.
All right. I thought I had put on what magic things you can do, but I can't find it. So.
I'm also thinking that maybe not until we get back, but with all of these horses that we have, perhaps we should invest some training in a cavalry charge.
Yeah, and I do think you can use the horses as equipment when raiding. You can come in on horseback if you have but you can only use as much horses as you have riders for them to count, basically.
I only asked for the crafting because I know that in the book there's some options and you didn't present those as last time. So I wasn't sure what is available to us to craft and what is not.
Okay. Sure. So if you have monster parts, you can definitely work on crafting some of those monster parts that I've been trying to give you as you've conquered the things. And yeah, trying to find the crafting again. Wait a second, I'm trying to think what I gave you before. Okay, here we go. So Drake fire casks, tall shields, and battering ram.
But in order to create the Drake Fire, we actually have to spend a week going south.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you have to have a week down at sailing south in order to get the materials. But the tall shields need 200 pounds of timber and 50 pounds of iron. And the ram is 100 pounds of timber and 25 pounds of iron.
As we're going into a very fortified location, I think a couple battering rams at the very least. But and we have morale boost for +1 for another 3 weeks, so or for 4 weeks, but we would need to begin on the 4th week for that to still be effective, correct, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 weeks of downtime. And can we craft multiple things in the same week?
So you have two things of downtime left.
We have
Usually
two- oh.
one, because that would be the 4th week as you raid. Is kind of the
Right. Gotcha.
as far as to get the bonus.
Okay. So we can't like craft shields and a battering ram at the same time.
So I would let right. You pick one thing to do here.
Did we lose the battering ram that we have? Did
I
we
would say
scrap-
I'd consider it used. Yeah.
Okay.
We did use shields at our last raid, but we're supposed to get half of them back, I think. I was reviewing the rules yesterday. But I don't know how many shields we used.
I would say use the full number of shields you had.
I don't remember us having shields.
So we'll say let's have you have 10 just to.
Okay, so now we have 5 or we have 10?
You have 10 now.
Got it. Great.
You only
Thank
get
you.
the bonus from the shields if all the raiders in the party have shields.
Oof.
So the attacking force. So if you send 10, they would get it. Right. If you send 11, not so much. So if you want to get those shields up, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And so the big thing on the shields and the battle ram is they can lower those DCs on certain reinforcements.
Yep. Whereas I'm assuming casts go boom, but they also blow up things that we want.
Yes.
Okay. So.
Indeed.
What are your thoughts, Asphalt?
Shields and rams. I like it.
Shields and rams.
Sounds like shields and rams it is.
Okay. So you want to, let's see, you want to get rid of a total of 300 timber and 75 iron.
Good. Got it.
So you can add 20 tall shields and another ram. All right. Any other conversations?
Good job you are getting those people to come.
I think that was all you, Corgana.
Sure.
One thing you in the description at the start of the session, we did talk how the Raiders were homesick. If anyone wants to address that. Really want to leave it up to not Kurgana and Bjorg if anyone else wants to, just in case you want to, because they just did something.
I think, I think Tiny will finish whittling some more sticks, and then we'll kind of head over to a group of the raiders who are probably looking a little down.
Okay. So you look up, and a few are holding some symbols of what looks like their mother, others of a dear loved one, some of their children.
Who, what are all those things?
Speaks up. Way. This is my sweetheart's hair. She cut it off and sewed it in wax. Said come back to me. She said she'd keep the homestead warm.
Oh, is that something? Is that something people do?
The woman next to him. I certainly did. To my wife. I gave her a lock of my braid. Says we two will be together again. Two women holding hands after the raids. And she gave me one of hers.
Tiny looks at her own hair and realizes she hasn't cut any off. Is that something you learned how to do?
I mean, I just kind of figured it out. It's just, you braid and you cut. And I mean, like, did you want to give it to someone special here?
I mean, I don't know what I don't really understand a lot of the traditions and customs that go about. I didn't really inherit a lot of that. Inherit. But yeah, I'm Tiny Tusk. It's not even a real name. It's more of a description. But
I mean, you can always choose a new one.
Well, I thought so too, but shouldn't people give you a name, right? Isn't that something that people do?
Well, we give you a tighter hair, but if you feel like your name hasn't been given to you from achievement, then maybe.
Maybe. Well, I just kind of realized the other day as I was talking to some of my own friends that they all have like, names, And
Most people do.
Yeah, but I'm just Tiny, right? And that's not really a name. It's more of it was more of a send the tiny one to do that.
I mean, if you say so.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I think so, right? Is that
I don't know, maybe there's more to it.
what's your name?
My name is Farron. Yeah, I'm Saran.
I like that. Farron and Saren.
Yeah, that one complains a lot. She's Karen.
Well, that's pretty cool. Maybe, yeah. You know, now that I think about it, now that we're all kind of out here in the, in the wilds, what used to keep me going, was because I didn't have a lot of understanding of like where I was from. So I used to imagine things. Like I would at night sometimes think of stories like maybe my mother is I don't know, pouring coffee, or maybe my dad was straightening his tie. Just maybe far away. And I would create those stories, and they would help me feel closer to, them. And it's something you can try. It's who's really good at talking to people is Hist, and it's too bad he's not here, because he would know what to say. But you should know that, now that you're in the tribe or the clan, now that we are a clan, we are that it's okay to think about the things that we're coming back to, because those are the things that make us keep walking. They keep us, upright, one foot in front of the other, and marching in a line.
Okay, all right. In that case, as you talk to them, you can go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Uh, 22.
22.
Ooh.
I kind of nod. Right. Part of the clan. We will be home to it. And they smile and seem to be ready for the raid that is coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I will kind of, as I'm leaving, just kind of, I think, look toward where the fish are, and kind of go to Griff's spot and try to catch some fish.
All right. So the conversation is just what they're doing, basically.
I just depends on if anybody's even up. I just kind of figured that that's where she would go.
Okay. All right. In that case, give me 1 second.
We'll give you 12 days of Christmas.
How many people did Corgana and Bjorg convert?
40
Bjork converted
Wow.
40.
Wow.
out of 45.
All right. Sorry. Oh, children. There was a second where I was like, is that coming through my earpieces? No, that's just super loud. All right. Anything before we start to go toward raid planning? All right. Sounds good.
Do we want to address where? Because I don't think we've really done anything with the magic items we've been collecting.
Yeah, go ahead and address that.
Is there anything that anybody wants? We have some stuff. Halfling-sized armor.
Yeah, can anybody wear that?
Corgana's a halfling? Totally.
Well,
There's
none
plus
of
one
your
leather
ass
armor.
won't.
All right. While you talk about that, I need to address something. I'm right back.
Go for it.
I cannot wear leather armor right now because I am currently wearing better armor than leather.
Excellent. Does anybody want the plus one leather? Bjorg?
I'll take it if nobody else wants it.
It would be the same armor class.
Oh,
So go for it.
okay. I did take one of the plus one longbows. Anybody else want the other one?
Tiny.
Yeah, I can take one.
Nice.
I'm assuming one of you wonderful I talk to rocks or I talk to spirits would love that sensor of air elementals.
I could probably use it. I mean,
Nice. Do it.
Any other fat loots?
there was some priestly finery.
Oh yes.
I think that's it actually out of all of the magic items that we got.
What does halfling sized mean?
It fits a halfling and something about their size. So like if we had a gnome maybe. But
Or a
Yeah.
kobold or something equally of small stature.
yeah. It is armor designed for a small creature.
Is tiny small or medium?
Small.
But
It's heavy
like-
armor though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't wear heavy.
Okay. So then.
But she is possibly part halfling.
Well,
the
in the
halfling-
meantime, since Tiny is fishing with Griff is going to be telling Tiny about this delicacy back from Clan Limgiri, where he's from. It's a traditional fish head soup. They would take the fish, and a lot of times, especially in winter when things were a little bit scarcer, they would chop off the heads of the fish and make a soup with it. And the best part was plucking out the little eyeballs. Delicious and nutritious.
Okay.
Griff,
Yeah, Tiny?
what do you think
Okay.
makes a good orc halfling name?
Well, I think whatever makes a good name in general, especially if you're choosing it for yourself or for perhaps a pet wolf or etc., would be a name that either fits them or a name that inspires.
Like, what about like I don't know, Asphalt's a good name.
What do you mean Asphalt took a name?
No, Asphalt's a good name, right?
I think
I don't-
Asphalt was named.
It's
by
a good
her
name, not took a
parents.
name.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good name, right?
Yeah.
Do you like? What if I was an Asphalt?
Are you thinking of changing your name, Tiny?
Well, I don't really have a name, so it wouldn't be changing a name. It would be more like finding a name.
Well, okay. Is there a name that you like?
Oh,
That
Bjorg.
Hi. Is there a name that you like that's not one of ours?
Oh, sorry. I mean, I was.
It would. I mean, you could use asphalt. It would just get a little confusing with two of you.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
Uh,
is there a name that you like? I mean,
no. But I didn't know if Asphalt was like a halfling name.
okay. Is there a particular reason why you're looking for a halfling name?
Well, more like an orc halfling name, like a half forkling name.
Does it have to be either one of those? Can it just be something that you like? Like maybe
Well-
you like flora, maybe you like fauna, maybe you like ivory or amethyst, or I don't know. Guys, help me out.
Oh, there's more people here.
Well, there's at least Griff there. Flower, I don't know. Petal, poppy, tulip, leaf, leaf,
Beef?
tree.
Tree?
I'm just being funny now, Tiny. I'm just throwing things out there. But is there a name you like? Could it be named after a flower or someone who maybe was close to you wherever you came from, or
Like Cole.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if you want to use that name because that would probably confuse us as well.
Yeah, no, it was just something I was just gonna. I just mentioned it because I thought Griff would, have some suggestions, but I'll give it a little bit more thought and see what I can come up with. And
We could call you Colette.
collect.
Uh-huh. And then you're sort of named after Cole. And we could call you Cole for short if you want.
Or cola.
Or Cola.
Well,
Finally, I found it. God, I wrote it down somewhere, and I was like, "Where was it?" It was like, I don't know if it will help, Tiny, but did we ever bring up the topic of nicknames for friends?
no.
Well, nicknames are shortened names that we have for friends. Like sometimes I'll just call Asphalt Kid. Similarly, Griff is the shortened version of my name.
So I should come up with nicknames for people.
That's only if you want to.
I do.
It's generally just something fun to do between friends.
Okay. I'll surprise you all with nicknames.
Okay.
While they're off on their own in their little fishing fun, Corgana is gonna find Asphalt.
Oh, hi, Gorana.
Do I still scare you that much?
Oh no, I wasn't scared. I saw you from a mile away.
Should I go then?
No, you could stay. Oh, what's up?
I want to apologize for the other night.
Apologize for what, Gorgana? You didn't do anything wrong.
I put you on the spot after you've been dealing with quite a bit on your plate, including and up to your own mortality. My questions were unfair and could have waited till after raiding season and we got back home.
Oh. Well, to be honest with you, Gorgana, I think that you offer a unique perspective. I think that, like-minded people end up finding each other. But it's good to hear voices more than just your own, you know? I think I've been really lucky to surround myself with a lot of love and friendship, but that's only one aspect of life, and I think it's not a stretch to say that I suspect, I don't know, that maybe you've lived a different life. And I think that there's a reason, you've been brought here. I think maybe you need to balance us out.
That's very nice, Asphalt. I'm not sure that you should want people to have my perspective on life. But it's good to hear that you listen to others. Because that's not something leaders do often. And where they make mistakes. And I know you're not sold on that idea for yourself, and that's fine. I look up to you, Asphalt. You are absolutely correct that people haven't had my experience with life, but while it's difficult to smile, it's good to know that at least somebody's capable of finding the sunny side of life around here. So, thank you for having that. Thank you for having optimism. And, yeah, sorry again.
I don't mean to overstep, but you always have an optimistic take on, like me, for example. I think, and I don't mean to overstep.
But you're going to anyway.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
I think maybe, even though you're really insightful about other people, perhaps, you've got some walls up that block your own vision of yourself. I know we like to say that you're intense, but intensity comes from connection. We feel your presence, and that's connection.
I don't have walls up about myself, Asphalt. I know that I am ugly and bitter, jaded, cynical, and angry. If I had walls up, I'd think that I am just fine. And the real secret is I'm not. And I just get up every day knowing that I'm not fine. And that's how life's gonna be.
You may be a lot of those things. But I don't think you're ugly.
On the inside.
No, I know what you meant. Yeah, you may not be okay. But it's not in such a way that I don't want to know you. I think you're pretty cool. You're not ugly inside. Although you may be a little pessimistic, maybe a little intense, maybe kind of grumpy, maybe a little so logical that sometimes, some stuff is... But it doesn't matter. It's my point is, that's okay.
You don't want to know me. You don't want this, Asphalt. You don't need it. I think it would hurt the way you see things in the world. And that's okay too. But just sorry.
I don't mean to overstep. Again. But do you think perhaps you're afraid that the way we think might hurt the way you see the world?
It hurts every time I see you smile and joke with Griff, or Tiny, or Bjorg. It reminds me of the times I used to. And how difficult it is these days. So to say that it might hurt, it's like being trapped in a desert and seeing everybody else drink water. And yet, you know that drinking the water would just kill you. And instead you just hurt knowing that it's not for you.
Sounds lonely.
It's been a very long 10 years.
It's special that you've lived a life where you had something to lose.
And you fail once and you lose it all. In a life that you spent rating, that I'm still here and it's gone. What does that tell you? Think on that. Think on that as even if you leave and go back to your brother. That's something that to think about. But yeah.
Okay. I'll be honest, I don't think I understand.
That all you have to do is lose once, even if you do something perfectly, and everything can come crashing to the ground, Asphalt.
As you said it yourself, you're still here.
And I wish I wasn't. And with that, Corgana will get up and start to walk away.
Asphalt looks woefully on.
All right. Anything else? Divide the magic items.
Yes.
Indeed.
Very good. That case, ready to try to see what looks like the as far as talking and sorry, moving on with the stuff here.
Yeah.
Great mood to leave Asphalt to go into raiding with.
I can't fight through all these tears.
Very good. So, in the case, after all of this, weeks of preparation, morning comes, and you are gathered by the chief to plan the final raid of your campaign. You sit with him away from the rest of the raiders as he draws a crude map of the city in the ashes of last night's fire. He speaks. It is important to remember that this city is defended by mages, and not just local forest Jews, no offense, but academy-trained wizards. If we fight fair, they'll kill us. I'm not worried, though. I do not doubt that you will lead our people to victory. Herr Sirs, come, let's talk strategy. As he points out the map a bit here. And let's see here. Can look at the map in the D&D maps. As he points to the grand building, goes, this is Nordenmark Palace. It consists of bright, burning, and glorious raised and polished white stone towers, all made by magic itself. Stands over the Burak Empire's northern marches. Now, I will tell you, its treasury room is the primary target that we want. Trying to depose the Archduchess and conquer the great city is folly, in my opinion. We're here for plunder. So, he sticks his stick there. This is where we need to go. You are a strike team, Herr Sirs. Get in there, get everything you can from the treasury, and get out. Now, begins pointing at various buildings. 8 to be specific, as it goes. Now, Erfurt itself is home to 8 colleges of magic. 3 are renowned throughout the Empire, greatest of the 8. Marcher Lord's College of Evocations is a military academy, and though it's difficult to take, claiming it will doubtless damage morale across the city. Now, there are mages called the Thaumaturge that are contracted to protect Erfurt. However, rumor has it that their local commander, Duma Felsinger, has no particular loyalty to the Empire, If his fortress, the Pinnacle of Thurgy, is conquered, he and Samaturg's forces will likely flee. Speaking of fleeing, Harefoot once forded a river, and though that was long been since the Verdant filled in, its harbor and Seagate remain. Now, Seagate is a defensive line of towers that overlooks the harbor. If we do not capture these towers, sailing our longships into the harbor is an impossible task. And no, if we do not either take the main gate or Seagate, it would be very hard to get out alive. Now the rest, all along here, are cottages and townhomes. They're not as rich as the palace, but they have light defenses, and they're so vast you could have a force raid there over and over to plunder and get what we need. So, that's the information we have been able to gather and what I remember from my last voyage here. Now, in this raid, I will be placing myself into your hands. I will be one of your deputy commanders today's raid. I have Harefoot blood I wish to spend. And wish to rend. So, you'll be able to tell me what you need.
So this means effectively we have 3 deputy commanders. So we can lead three strikes in a turn?
Yep.
Okay.
But we also need the people to back them up.
Yeah.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, based off of now that we've got the narrative piece out of the way, C14 is the stronghold. Correct?
Yeah, I think so. Let me get to that right window really quick.
Yep.
What am I trying to do here? Reading. There's Rafanaf Skirin his bonus.
Nice.
Just need to make sure I got it to you. Okay. So now. Okay. Yeah, because now I'll have to go to a different place in my notes as I answer some of these questions. So. Go down to this. Perfect. So, yes. C14 is indeed your main thing that you're trying to get there.
C1
Yeah.
is the...
That is Nordenmark Palace.
Gotcha.
And the trophy room is in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you specifically know you need to get to the treasury inside that place is what you're hoping to get from this.
Okay.
There's a note, things like this in your raid, like when you get back, like the amount you bring back is going to like determine stuff. So that's when these are saying such things. And C12, I think you're asking me, that's the West Seagate or Seagate West.
Ah, okay.
And C13 is Seagate East.
Got it. And he said either that or the main gate would need to be taken, the sea gates or the main gate would need to be taken to make retreat even possible.
Yeah. So one thing I warn about here, as it goes in, is that the way that the defenses like to work here is they like to turn the city into a trap for raiders.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of allow them to go through and then eventually cut them off, and as time wears on, slowly cut them down.
Gotcha.
So making sure you have escape routes secured and such things are super important, according to the chief.
Yep. C3 is the main gate, then, based off of things? And C2 would be the east gate?
Yeah, so C3 is the west gate, C2 is the east gate.
C1 is the water gate, I'm looking... Looks like...
That is the river sluice.
River sluice, okay.
Do we know which of these locations is the magic school that will damage morale, and then the magic school that would flee?
Mm-hmm. So what I tell you is, let's see here. Yeah, C6, C7, and C9, and C10 are all magic schools.
Okay.
C8, which is the Pinnacle of Theurgy, which is the one where in which, if you take that, it might help you. That could cause the mage forces to flee.
Would it make all of the magic schools flee? Maybe I misunderstood the...
We'll go to the mage forces, because mages are going to be part of the defenses here, so it will. That.
C4 looks like a neighborhood.
C14?
C4.
C4? Yes. Yep. Those are the low town neighborhoods.
Gotcha.
Then...
So does C1 connect to C5, or do you have to take C1, C4, and then C5?
So yeah, C1 would not give you, correct, you cannot get to C5 by taking C1.
Okay. Got it.
You're not coming from the sea here initially, you're coming from the land.
Right, I was just... Okay, got it. C5 is the Northern River pieces. And it would make sense that the
Yeah.
gate
C5
to
is the Docktown markets.
okay.
I'll let you know a little bit there.
Gotcha. Okay, I was like, oh, it just looks part of the sluice. But good to know.
But it is possible to possibly go in through the sluice and start to get up mid if that's how you wanted to fight. But
yeah, just thinking. And then 14 is that, and then so that makes 11 the rich neighborhoods that can be plundered over and over again till your eyes go red.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty.
When Raven said to take either the main gate or the river gate to make sure we had a way out, does that include both east and west sides of... So, would we need C12 and C13 to make our escape easier?
I think if you take one of them, that'll benefit
Gotcha.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, in addition, the way the taking the mage schools has a chance of lowering the morale more or less once you take like more than one.
Gotcha.
Because one major issue here are the mages within the town, because they're part of every defense.
They're a major issue.
Yes.
It was something that Aelin, or not Aelin, what was his name? The merchant made mention of as well. Alphys. Yes. So I love whoever's color coding this.
Robin.
Thank you. So
Yeah, that basically gives you an outline of at least how it all looks.
yeah, I'm just thinking. Anyone have any thoughts?
11, 8, 9, 10, 14.
11, 8, 9, 10, 14. I think we'd have to take 7 to get to 8.
Even if we come from the river? Oh, sorry, 12. 12, 11, 8.
I don't think we get to start that way.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
You can't come in from the sea there. Like
You
basically
did say
that's
that before. I
basically
spaced
that's
out.
death is why I say can't. Like it's just
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think we have to start in either C1, C2, C3.
Gotcha.
We did build this wonderful battering ram and some shields for a reason, which makes C3 not impossible, but I think C3 would require more than just 30 shields to storm, but based off how the wall looks. But I do think like going something into the city of like then C6, C7, C8, and then the entire north just leaving out the west side is reasonable. Or maybe just going like C7, C8, C9, C10, and then westward, and then just taking it from there, and again just forfeiting the east side of the town.
I agree
But-
with forfeiting half.
Okay. Other thoughts? And where would we start?
and we have to decide how many warriors living behind as well. But yeah. And we can always talk about this because I think we'll probably end before we really get to the raid part of it. So you can be
Well-
thinking or have any conversations you want.
Yeah, we should probably start at C3. Anybody disagree with that?
Don't disagree. I think it will be probably one of our highest points of casualties. But yeah,
Well, I don't know that C2 looks much better.
I agree. I don't think there's any great start. I think this is definitely we're going to have casualties on this go around.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is we have 40 more warriors, right?
We also have another commander to go with it, though. So
Yes.
if we leave too much behind, we don't have enough to make use of commanders to expedite the clock. But we also know that some of the defenses are going to be particularly nasty here. So, what is our warrior count, by the way? Like 170 something now?
I think it's 168.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. So
So how many should we leave behind?
Commander Asphalt.
We usually the last couple we left behind 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I wouldn't go like. I personally feel like I don't think we should go past 50.
I agree.
I do have, my heart is telling me that we should leave more than we have in the past because this is like a meta take, but it feels like if we were going to have big consequences, it would be going home after the last raid. And then it'd be like, oh, our camp has been stormed. So I'm nervous.
Well, we plan on using the ships as part of our getaway plan, right? If we take C-12.
Yeah.
So, like, we aren't going to have access to them, and it's going to be really hard to storm our camp if our fleet is going to be our getaway plan. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, what's guarding the ships too? But yeah, to have a group two, you do have to have certain warriors to bring the ships in. That's up to you.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
I
we
wouldn't be comfortable with less than 30. I'll say that. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna say we've left 30 in the past. Let's up it to 40 and still make 5 of those are trap makers, the kobolds.
Where he protects the ships is.
I swear, if Corgiana dies, I'm coming back as one of those kobolds.
Does anybody feel strongly we should bump it down to our 30 that we've been doing this whole time?
No, I definitely think we should take more, but less than 50, or leave more than 30, but less than 50. I mean,
Why don't we do 38 instead of 40 so that our numbers could be rounder, and then we'll have 130 to take with us to the raid.
Okay.
Make sure we're writing this down so that we have
How
the
does that-
numbers starting next time.
How does that sound?
You're the leader, Asphalt.
that sounds fine to me.
Okay. Oh, I did this backwards.
Ow.
Okay, so 130 to the raid, 38 at camp.
Okay. Sounds like a good number. Able to overlook this and then can see the issue. Anything else? All right. So we have the general idea of how to get in and move forward. Each tower is marked. Good to go. If there's anything else, I'd say, yeah, be prepared for casualties, my friends. Will be fun, and as we come next week, yep.
Sorry. Can I do a real quick thing here at the end? Is that cool?
Oh,
It
so
won't
you
take
starting with
long.
your character?
Yeah,
Certainly.
because I didn't really get a chance to resolve it, and I just realized that I was muted. But
Please.
so flavor wise, I'll just say that in that meeting where Tiny had been standing, there's just like a bunch of whittled down toothpicks, and she would have walked out at some point and been like finding more sticks and just started to like, you know, aggressively just like sharpen them. And at some point I would see this as just kind of like a quick moment with probably Saren, I think it was.
Mhm.
And she would just kind of call her over.
Yeah.
Saren,
Yes, Tiny.
I wasn't 100% honest.
Huh?
I think sometimes I do remember things. And what helps me is to focus on something. And so I take these sticks, right, and I carve them up. Before I joined the clan, I was with some really not so great people, and they used to make me sharpen sticks because if I stopped, then bad stuff would happen.
Oh.
And I've just been unable to stop since the raid. And I just want you to know that I won't stop.
Good.
Like, not the sticks, but I'm going to make sure nothing bad happens.
Kind of looks, kind of her eyes. Tiny, horrible things will happen tomorrow. You will not be able to stop them.
I can. I just have to keep sharpening.
Most of us have made it through, but
Asphalt didn't.
But they are here now.
Right.
What I am saying is, tomorrow we face enemies. Our ingenuity will not save us. Look around. Understand, no matter what you do, there will be many you will never see again. But keep those sticks sharp. For you will be able to save many, I am sure. But all we ever want from any of you Hairsayers is to do your best to make the sacrifice that is inevitable, one that will let Regvar live to the future.
Yeah.
That's why we are here.
Yeah.
It's good you were all able to rescue. As thought, it's best the Hairsayers don't die, even though us Grants certainly will. Smiles.
You're not a grunt any more than I was.
I'm no Hairsayer.
I wasn't always a Hairsayer.
True, but you are now. It's all good. Anything else?
No, I think she just kind of eventually stops with the sticks, and we'll go and kind of sit in the woods and wait for the raid.
All right. Very good. In that case, be prepared to lose your friends tomorrow or next week, and I do not want to understate that there's a good amount of forces you will lose in your raid, and as you realize how things may work, strategy and on the thinking on your feet will be vital. Understand what you want to do. Things will change and all that good stuff coming in, and we will be ready for it. So with that, we are in the stream, and everyone watch it and come back next week for the final raid.
everyone.
The final raid.
Good night,
here of
everyone.
summer. Bye-bye.
Item. Move.